Hello and welcome to another Manga Spotlight. This is Killer, and this series has one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest twists both in universe and in real life. I will say if anyone is interested in reading this, do not do any research on it because then you'll be spoiled. But there is an amazing twist, a twist that I still remember to this day. And I say that because the series came out years and years and years ago, and I've read hundreds and hundreds of manga since, and this series and its twist still sticks out to me because of just how crazy and unique it was. Like I said, both in universe and in real life. So I'll get to that in a moment. But and for anyone who's worried, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm going to discuss this series. I will discuss the twist a little bit, but I won't spoil anything for you guys. If you guys want to read it for yourself, I highly recommend it. But yeah, this is Killer. A sudden increase in odd killings. A world close to an end gives rise to an unprecedented master detective. The story follows the motivated detective Asano Misaki and her slacker partner Hijirihara Takumi. They work in a Special Crime Investigation Agency, SCI, which is in charge of cases judged abnormal or bizarre. So yeah, in this world, crimes and stuff have gone up, especially bizarre crimes, murders, abnormal cases, crimes of passion, stuff like that. It's so much that a Special Crime Investigation Agency, the SCI, was created just to tackle. And like that summary said, we have two main characters. We have Misaki Asano, and she is a newbie to this group. She has just been assigned to the SCI. She is a by-the-books, somewhat naive character. She's a fine character. Not really all that interesting, though. She plays a part mostly of helping the audience with the world building. She's the character because she's new. Things need to kind of be explained to her about the job, about their cases and stuff like that. So as she's learning more about what the SCI does, we, the audience, get to learn through her. So that's pretty much her main traits in this series. Well, that and also to play the counter to the secondary main character, who is Hijirihara Takumi. I'm just going to call him Takumi because that's easier for me to pronounce. Takumi, I'll say he's the primary character just because most of the stories in this series revolves around him. He plays more of a bigger part in this. And I mean, the name of the series is actually named after him. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But yeah, Misaki is given this new position. She's given a new partner. She's even told that this is a very dangerous job. We only tackle abnormal cases that are judged as bizarre. And it's dangerous not just, physically, but also mentally. The guy who you're replacing, he only lasted 3 days. So, yeah, this is not a very fun job to do. But Misaki wants to do it because she wants to make the world a better place. Meanwhile, Takumi is a character who... He's the most interesting character in this series. So he has a tragic backstory. When he was in high school, he witnessed his entire classroom getting slaughtered. And the only reason why he survived was because he was hiding in a locker at the time. So he was hiding in there and he witnessed everything. And because of that, we have a couple of things happen to Takumi. One, he has a fascination with being in dark, confined places. In fact, that's kind of a running gag in this series where you will constantly see Takumi popping up from lockers, from small boxes, from cabinets, from cupboards. Anything that's small, dark, and confined, he's in there. And that's where he feels like the most at home. Also, witnessing his entire classroom getting slaughtered grew his love for murders. He actually, for seeing this, he considers murder to be a work of art, and he also wants to be a great serial killer. But I guess maybe he has somewhat of a conscience because rather than going out and murdering innocents, he goes out and he murders the serial killers that they're tasked with finding. Hence the name Killer Killer. So the series basically they get some kind of case. Either someone is in danger or there's been a murder and they get involved. And they have to find out, okay, who's trying to kill this person or who has already killed this person. And then it usually ends with Takumi finding the killer, locating them on his own. Like he will basically set up clues for Misaki, but then those clues kind of lead her in a different direction. That way he can get the killer on their own. And then he basically gets the killer to confess. And then he judges the killers, which is another unique trait in this series. He judges the passion of the killings. So the higher the passion, the higher ranked you get. And a lot of times he feels like the killers are lacking in the passion. Like they're committing their murders, but they're not really loving the murder. Like murder is an art. You can judge someone and know their true qualities, like the true qualities in a person based off of how they murder. So, sloppy murders means a sloppy person. Precision murders means, a precise. There's different traits associated with people depending on how they murder. And he judges people based off of that. So, yeah, he'll give like a ranking, like, your passion was enough. I give you 20 points. Do better next time. And usually this judgment, this scoring, pisses off the serial killer to the point where they'll attack him and then he murders them. And every time he murders them, he does something kind of different. There's like one murder where he slices their face to like little meat cubes. And then like you see it kind of separate briefly before it comes back together, and the person's like, "What happened? I thought I was just killed," and then their head explodes. So it's not necessarily, the series is not necessarily based in in realism. That there's some unique manga physics and stuff involved. So yeah, our main character is basically like a Dexter type. He is a serial killer, but he only murders other serial killers, and I've never seen Dexter myself, but I don't know why he does that. Maybe that's just the way he is. But here it's because after witnessing his classmates being murdered, he grew a fascination and love for murders and stuff. And then we get to chapter 3. Chapter 3 is when we have the crazy twist. So in chapter 3, we have another murder case and stuff, and we have our main character Takumi, and he is confronting the serial killer. And then this is where the twist happens. So as he's confronting the serial killer, he realizes that the killer is a manga artist, and the killer is doing a manga. His series are basically documentary mangas. All of his mangas are based off of true events that have happened. And turns out not only are these like events happening, but this manga artist is also killing people, and he's doing copycat killings based off of the events that happen, so that he can use the corpses and killings as reference material for when he draws, because he wants to draw the most realistic art he can. So what better way to draw a realistic art of a corpse than to get a corpse and kill it the way you want it so you can draw it. And this is when the big reveal has happened. Takumi confronts this manga artist. He praises the artist for his book. He says, even though the stories and stuff is subpar, the artwork is beautiful. But he once again judges the killings and stuff. And that's when we realize, holy crap, Killer Killer is not an original manga. It is actually a spin-off of a somewhat popular franchise. It takes place in the same universe. The manga that the manga artist is drawing and writing and stuff is based off events from this franchise. I'm not going to tell you what the franchise is because I don't want to spoil it for you. So I won't say if the franchise is another manga series, an anime, a light novel, a video game, a movie, whatever. I will say that it is a franchise that you might have heard of. It's semi-popular, but also semi-niche. And yeah, this this series takes place in that universe. So the in-universe twist is that reveal, is the fact that these events that happened in this other franchise happened in this universe, and now the characters are going to be somewhat involved with the characters from that franchise. And then the in real life twist is at the end of chapter 3 is again the reveal that this is not an original manga, but this is actually a spin-off, and that Killer Killer is not the original name of the series, but the name of the series is blank Killer Killer, and the blank is the name of the franchise, which I'm not going to reveal because I don't want to spoil it. So it's a crazy twist, because when this manga was first, released, it had there was no advertisement that it was part of this franchise. There was no connections being made. They even went so far as to just call it Killer Killer. They didn't even reveal the full name of the series, because to do that would spoil the universe that this series is set in. So the fact that they did all that to pull this twist at the end of chapter 3, I thought was pretty crazy, and like very well done. It kind of reminds me a bit of what's the name of that anime? I want to say Guy Ray Zero. I might be wrong, but there's this anime based off a manga. I think it's a prequel to the manga, and it during the advertisement for the anime, before the anime was released, they showed all these new characters that they were introducing. They put them in the spotlight. They hired these like well-known, famous voice actors and actresses to play the parts of these characters. And then the very first episode revolves entirely around them and their group and stuff. But then throughout the episode, those characters start getting killed off one by one. And then at the very end, all those characters get killed off, and you realize that the series is not about them. The series is actually about the person who killed them. And that reminded me of Killer Killer, where all the advertisement and everything like that is done to make it seem like Killer Killer is a brand new series. And they do so much to prop up these characters and to hide the fact that this is set in a already existing universe. And it isn't until the end of chapter 3 that they reveal, psych, this is not an original series. This is a spin-off of an already existing franchise, and those characters in that existing franchise are going to appear in this. And the events that happen in that franchise have happened in this universe, and this series is not called Killer Killer. It's called blank Killer Killer. And yeah, that was such a crazy twist. It freaking blew my mind. And yeah, like I said, it's something that it still sticks to me to this day. Like the fact that they pulled this off, the fact that they pulled off an in-universe and in real life twist was just, it stuck with me. And yeah, even now, years and years later, I still remember. I think when did this come out? It came out 2016. So 2016 is 2022 right now. So 6 years after reading hundreds and hundreds of different manga series, thousands of chapters of other series, a whole bunch of comic books also as well, this series still stood out to me, and that twist is still something I remember to this day. I still even remember the exact chapter the twist happens. Like, that's how much it like burned into my mind because of how crazy it was. Yeah, and from there we get more and more craziness as more of this existing franchise gets leaked into this series. And I don't want to say anything more. I'll just say it's crazy. It's a great series. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It gets really weird at times. There's a lot of like physics breaking moments where you're just like, okay, this can't happen in real life. Only in a manga or anime can this happen. I want to say this is going to be really hard to do because I mean, like I said, at the time of this series being released, they did their best to hide the franchise that it belonged to. But now, since it's completed, even like scanlation sites have placed the name either in the in the title, or sometimes they'll show like the franchise logo or the franchise name in the first chapter. So it might be very, very hard to be able to read the first two chapters without being spoiled, but I would say try your best. Don't do any research into the series. Just go to whatever your favorite scanlation site is. Type in Killer Killer. Quickly click on chapter 1, and again, try not to read anything. All right, so I'm going to try to do you guys a favor. I am going to put a link in the description below to where you can read this. It's on Manga Dex. I am going to link directly to chapter 1, page 5. And the reason I'm doing that is because the previous pages will kind of spoil the twist, because they'll have the name of the franchise in there. So for chapter 1, immediately start at page 5, and hopefully the link will just take you straight to page 5. And then read the entire chapter except page 65, which is the very final page in this. So for chapter 1, read from page 4 to page 64, and then go to chapter 2. And from chapter 2, you can read from page 1 to page 43. Do not read the final page, which is page 44, because that has the name of the franchise on there. And then when it comes to chapter 3, you can read everything else. You can read from page 1 all the way to the ending, because chapter 3 is where the twist happens. So yeah, just to reiterate, on the link that I'm giving you, it should immediately take you to page 5, chapter 1. So read from page 5 all the way to page 64. And then for chapter 2, read from page 1 all the way to page 44. And yeah, don't read the final page on those 2 chapters. So yeah, hopefully this will help. Everywhere else, it's really hard to find. Like if I try to give you scanlations for anywhere else, the problem is that the scanlators are scanning from the volume. And when you do that, the volume is already has all the spoilers and stuff on there. When I was reading this at the time, I was reading it when it was being rawed from the magazine and being uploaded that way. So there was no spoilers until chapter 3 came out. So yeah, it's really hard to try to contain the twists without being spoiled, but I'm going to try to do my very best. So once again, I know I'm kind of repeating myself here, but just for your benefit, click the link. It should immediately take you to chapter 1, page 5. Read all the way down until page 64. Skip page 65. Just once you get to page 64, at the bottom of page 64, you will see our 2 main characters sleeping in cabinets. Once you get to that page, go to chapter 2. Read all the way to page 43, where you'll see 2 characters laying on the floor, and then immediately skip to chapter 3 and just read all the way from there. So yeah, hopefully that helps. So that way you don't get spoiled. But if you can read the first 3 chapters without being spoiled, it's such a crazy, unique twist, something that, it blew my mind. But I feel like if you end up getting spoiled before you get to that chapter, before you get to the end of that chapter, it kind of takes a lot of the coolness out of that reveal. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. Again, interesting series. I mean, the twist is what stood out to me the most. But the series itself isn't all that bad. It's pretty entertaining. A little bit weird and over the top at times, and there are times where you kind of have to strain your disbelief, because it's basically Hollywood magic, but cranked up to 11. But there you go. Killer Killer. Really great twists. Like I said, both in universe and in real life. Like one of the greatest twists I've ever seen in any medium. Like I was just not expecting it. And the first time I came across that twist, it blew my freaking mind. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anyone that did read this at the time that the series is being released, and you guys got the twist too, how did you guys feel? Like, did it blow your mind as well, or am I like the only one? Also, if you can not leave any spoils in the comments, just in case. I'll say this also: if you're watching this video, try to, and you want to read this series, do so before reading any of the comments, just in case anyone puts down any spoilers. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. If you guys got any recommendations for future spotlights, let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, everybody. Later. So what did you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.